Hey, it's Steph. Thanks for watching today's video. I have an update for Pan Those Eyeshadows. This is an eyeshadow project pan started by Alexi. Her channel is always linked down below in my updates, but everyone kind of does this project a little differently according to their goals and panning style. I will get into my rules in a little bit. I use this project to rotate through my eyeshadows to obviously hit pan, but I also have some expand those pan shades in here. That project was created by Dora. She will also be linked down below, and it's where you randomize eyeshadows that you've already hit pan on to work on a little longer. Many of us panners neglect items that we've hit pan on so we can move on to the next thing, but I wanted to reach for the eyeshadows that I hit pan on and use them 5 times, so I'm also doing that in this project. If you're not familiar with my channel, I do mostly panning content, which means I'm actively working through my makeup and beauty collection, trying to use up the things that I already have. I am on my second no buy year in a row, so projects like this just help me use my collection a little more creatively. And yeah, I'm also love to create an eye look at the end of each update. Whether or not I roll something new, I like to push myself and get more creative with my color story. I also do some palette bingos on my channel, which is basically randomizing eyeshadows from a palette, and I do some get ready with me's as well. So if that sounds good to you, I hope you subscribe before you leave and give this video a thumbs up if you like pan those eyeshadows. Okay, I actually need your opinion because it's July. Everybody, well, I guess not everybody, but I get the itch to change things like mid-year. You know, you've done things one way for 6 months and kind of have an itch to change things. So my current way of doing this project is I randomize 3 eyeshadow palettes and then I hand select the shade within that palette that I want to hit pan on. That is how the original creator Alexi did this project, so I wanted to do that this year. And then like I said, I do have some expand those pan shades in here. I work on 2 eyeshadows that I've already hit pan on and use those for 5 times. And then I'm also working on my lid setting shade and my brow filling shade to hit pan on. I just think it's fun to follow along and see how long it takes me to hit pan in those shades as well. For my lid setting shade, I am doing a challenge with my makeup bestie Tina. Her handle on Instagram is Tina_Miss_Damina, I think. Something like that. I will have her link down below. Tina Misdemeanor, and we are seeing who can hit pan in the most lid setting shades. She is currently ahead of me, and that is not allowed. But the winner of the challenge gets to pick what the loser has to pan next year. So the stakes are high. Panning, so fun. I talked to my Instagram followers on stories and I mentioned that I neglect my single eyeshadows. I don't roll them into this project because I randomize palettes and that's like a completely different category in my inventory. And I wanted to do a separate project rolling or rotating through my single eyeshadows, like 3 to 5 uses. I haven't really decided yet. I would like randomize 4 single eyeshadows and then rotate them through once I meet my goal. So I was thinking, because I do such a low usage goal, like 5 uses on my expand those pan shades, I was thinking of grouping those 2 projects together in one video, doing like an update every month for expand those pans and single eyeshadow rotation or something like that, separate from pan those eyeshadows. And so in this project, I was thinking of increasing my randomized palettes to 4 instead of 3. So I could still create like a I could still create a look at the end of each update. I think 3 eyeshadows is a little low for that, so I think 4. Adding 1 more shade might hinder me. I'm not sure, especially because I'm adding in my single eyeshadows. But I don't know, I just let me know, or if I should just keep the expand those pans in this project and do my single eyeshadows and like totally separate. I didn't want to add the single eyeshadows project into this update because I'm already updating on so much already. So yeah, I think I'm leaning toward doing what I explained, like a separate update. I'm going to keep it the same for this month, for July. But if I do change things, you know, let me know in the comments. I really want you guys' opinion. But August update will be when I change, I think. Yeah. I think I still am going to film my single eyeshadow rotation for July because I really want to start that, like give myself a full 6 months. I don't know. Let me know. Okay. This is the color story that I've been working on. I do have 6 shades swatched here because I was really close to hitting a goal on this shadow, and so I just rolled in an extra shade to replace it. So this first one is from my Sydney Grace and Tantalia collab. This is the On the Horizon palette in the light version. And the eyeshadow that I have been working on is October Odyssey. And this has been in for 4 months. I did talk about last month whether or not to reinstate my 3-month rollout threshold, but I did keep it in for 1 more month just to see if I could hit my 30 uses, because the first month that I had it in, I used it 5 times. The second month, I had used it 7 times. The third month, I used it 12 times, but that included 5 uses on my nails. So I only had to use it 6 more times, and I talked about just using that on my nails and getting it over with because I was feeling pretty sick of this eyeshadow, to be honest. But you guys, I actually used this 6 times on my eyes. I was feeling it, I guess, because these are my 2 Expand the Pan shades. I feel like these and the shade plus my pink that I'm working on in Pan That palette, that just created such a really beautiful look, and I just kept doing it. So I did reach my 30 use goal, and I didn't use it on my nails again, so I'm super proud of myself. I feel like I'm close to pan on this, but not yet. I've never panned a Sydney Grace eyeshadow before, so I really don't know how deep it is, but it looks pretty deep in my opinion. Watch, it takes like 30 more uses to pan. But maybe in the future I could roll this in again or roll it into a different project. I know someone mentioned that in my comments in the last update, but it is rolling out of this project, which I am very proud of myself for using that shade and like pushing myself, because when I rolled this in, I was not happy. If you guys are familiar with my preferences, I like cool tones, and this did not fit with a lot of my other shadows, so I enjoyed it. I am shocked. The next shade is the bane of my existence. It comes from my ColourPop and Bambi collab. This is the Thumper palette, and I'm working on the shade Miss Bunny, which is a gorgeous pinky taupey shimmer. It's the second one here. I absolutely love this eyeshadow, but it is deep. It is so deep. The first month I had it in, I used it for 10 uses. I was able to use it 8 additional times this past month with a total of 18 uses, and this is where I'm at. So I have not hit pan yet, but look at that. That is deep. I kept sharing this in my stories on Instagram because literally every single use, I thought I was going to hit pan. I think I filmed it like the last 5 uses, 5 or 6 uses to be honest. Yeah, just no pan. Sorry, is that pan? I don't think it is. And I don't want to like dig on it right now just for the heck of it, so I'm gonna keep it in. I am using it at the end of this video, so we'll see if I hit pan. Oh my gosh, that would be so fun. But as of right now, it's staying in with 18 uses. The next shade is a beautiful silver shimmer. This guy right here, I loved using this in my inner corner. It comes from my ColourPop Mandalorian palette, and it is the shade Beskar Steel. I did take this out of the palette because it's magnetic, so I have it in my little Z palette here. But I was able to use this 9 times, and most of those uses were in my inner corner. So I'm going to pull this out here. And I do have a really nice dip. So I feel like if I continue using it with a smaller brush in my inner corner, I will be able to hit pan. This shadow is pretty soft too. Like a lot of product comes up when I just dip in it slightly, so that's always nice. And then the fourth shadow that I've been trying to hit pan on this month has come from my Beauty Bay Metamorphic palette. It is the shade Reality, and it's this beautiful matte purple. I've also paired this with this red and these 2 pinks and the pink matte in my Pan That palette. It just creates such a beautiful look, and it kind of cools down the warm pink in my Pan That palette. So I was able to use this 9 times as well. And I'm not going to open the palette like completely because it's one of those that it opens like this way, and it's just weird. And it's very reflective, but you can't even tell that I've used this. This is a very densely packed eyeshadow, and I have a feeling that this is going to be a 30 user. 30 uses or 3 months. And I think I'm going to hit my 30 uses before or at the 3-month mark because I just love this eyeshadow so much. It's very, very beautiful, and I love all the looks that I've created with it. So a total of 9 uses for those. And let's talk about my Expand Those Pans shades. So I have a 5-use goal on these. The first one here is from my Ace Beauté Violet Sage palette. It's a beautiful light pink shimmer. It is the shade called Anemone, and I will have just a side-by-side because I did meet my 5-use goal. And this is the shadow here. I know for a fact there is some good pan expansion. I just use this in my inner corner every time, so that's why. And I'm really happy. I'm really happy with that pan. Getting a little bigger, but it is rolling out with this project. And then the last Expand Those Pan shades here, the shifty pink to like orange, I don't know how to explain it, comes from my Beauty Bay Smoky Glam palette, and it is the shade Playful. I will also have a side-by-side on this. I don't know, I was expecting this to expand a lot more because the product moves around so much, but I did use this 5 times, so it is rolling out. Hopefully there's some movement. But this is so chunky, and like maybe I was taking the product around like the surface of it and not actually expanding the pan, if that makes sense. But that's rolling out. Such a beautiful shade. Let's talk about my lid setting shade. I have been working on a shadow from Garden of Juvia's from Juvia's Place. This is the shade Gardenia, and I've been working on this for this is the second month. So last month I had 14 uses, and I was able to use this 16 additional times with a total of 30, and I was able to hit pan. So if you were following me on Instagram, you would have already seen this. But I have a really nice pan here. Very nice. And again, if you're following me on Instagram, you already saw my replacement for this item, but I did roll in a eyeshadow from my Viseart Vespertine Attendu Violet Vespertine Attendu palette. It's the very first shade, and it is in French, so I'm not even gonna try. It's like Perle d'Or. Sorry. I will have it on the screen, but this is what it looks like now. I will have a picture of it when I rolled it in, but obviously it was brand new. It didn't have any disturbance when I rolled it in. So I'm really happy with that progress already. I've used it 8 times. This, I do have it on my lids today. It is slightly too dark for me. So I have to blend it out with my powder. It's kind of dumb, but I could just use my powder on my eyes. But this is a good way to get more pans in my collection and to beat Tina. So yeah, I'm working on that. And then, oh, I totally forgot to grab this. One second. Okay, so my brow shade came from my ColourPop Of Course palette. It is the shade CO, and this is what it was looking like when I rolled it in. I had used it 16 times in the first month, and I had used it an additional 6 times to hit pan. So again, if you're following me on Instagram, you would have seen a spoiler on this, but there's a nice little pan in this guy with a total of 22 uses. And if you're wondering why this shade here in the zone is missing, that's because it's my next brow shade, and I did depot it into my little magnetic palette here. This is what it was looking like when I started working on it. It was basically brand new. I had used it a few times, but there was no real wear on it. I have used this 18 times today. It is in my brows today, and on the 18th use, I hit pan. So I was very surprised. Look at that pan. It's pretty wide. So this took a few less uses than CO, and I think because CO is a little more pigmented, I had to be a little more careful with it. And you can kind of see the difference in them side by side. It's funny because this one looks darker, but this one is more, it's just more pigmented, and I can be a little more careless with this one. And this one kind of showed up more on my eyebrows, maybe because it was too gray. I feel like this shade is pretty good, so I didn't really have to think about it. So that brow shade that you didn't even know about is rolling out as well, which is so funny. So I had to pick a new brow shade today, and I didn't want to take too much time, so I went to a palette that I knew I could probably find a brow shade in, and it's my Milani Soft and Sultry. Oh my gosh, it's so reflective. I'm sorry. This is a very old palette, one of my oldest palettes, and it is a very neutral, cool palette. And if you can guess, I'm going to work on this shade here. That is the shade Smokin' Hot. And this is what it looks like rolling in. I do not think that this will be easy. These are very deep. Should I roll this one in instead? I'm going to swatch them both. I feel like this one's too dark, so I'm gonna yeah, I'm gonna stick with Smoking Hot. So I feel like that's a pretty good neutral brown. So yeah, I'm definitely not going to hit pan in this by the next update. Even though this palette is super old, these mattes are crazy dense. Like I'm saying, I think I worked on these two shades like 50 times. Of course, that's with a large fluffy brush, and I'll be using a lot more like pinpointed eyebrow brush with this shade, so we'll see. But I'm just excited for like those other pans in my collection. So that is it. So I have, so I'm not counting this. So I'm just going to randomize one palette to replace this guy. No, wait. Technically, I still have my 3 randomized palettes. So I guess I'm only rolling in my expand those pans. That's kind of sad. That's kind of sad. I did bring my iPad. I usually do like a screen recording of my phone, but my iPad is actually charged for once, and I think I have pretty random on here, so that's more fun to like show you on the screen. Let me pull up my Google Sheets with all of my pans on there. So I currently have, oh, let me update you on my pan percentage. I'm putting in the zone in here now, so that is updated. I think it is up to date now. So I currently have 78 pans out of 671 eyeshadows. Last month I had 75 pans out of 671, and that was 11.18%. So where is the calculator on this thing? I'm not used to using this. So 78 out of 671 is 11.62%. So it did go up a little bit. Let me go to Tiny Decisions. How do I do this? This is weird. Okay, I'm going to change it to 1 through 77, and we are going to randomize 38. So 38, maybe a screen recording is easier. ColourPop, that's dope. Okay, we have gone through this. I feel like multiple updates, I roll this palette in, and I don't want to. I've worked on that so much this year already. Number 8. My ABH Sultry palette, which is my Pan That palette. So let me randomize again. 18 is my Beauty Bay Metamorphic Oil. Okay, I actually have that right here. So let me swatch things out. Oh wait, no, I have to do another one. I have to do another. I'm going crazy. 54. I'm not used to holding this up, I guess. Kaleidos Futurism Astro Pink Light Year. I love that shade. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back, and this is my new color story. I feel like these two definitely compete. I'm having the same issue as last time, like too many shimmers that are like the same value or would be like serve the same purpose, but this is my new color story. Whoa. And I only have one matte, and it's a light matte. What am I supposed to do with that? So I will show you The first randomized expand those pan shades comes from this palette that's already out, which is nice. It is the shade Oil here. So here is the before shot. This shade is super, sorry, the magnetic thing. This shade is super soft and moves around. So I am anticipating this pan to expand quite nicely. And then the second shade I'm rolling in is from Kaleidos Futurism 3 Astro Pink. It's really nice because I have not done my No Pan Left Behind on this palette yet this year, so I'm happy to have it out. And this is the shade Light Year. Beautiful pink. I hit pan in this. Did I hit pan in this, or did Laura? Laura Force decluttered this to me, and this is like her writing and everything. She hit pan in the pink. I think I hit pan in Light Year. Yes, I think that's true. And here's a closer look at these two swatches. These are such gorgeous shades. Like, they go together really well. I feel like these four make a beautiful color story, and this one's kind of like doesn't meh, you know what I mean? But I obviously will use them all. So let me zoom you in. I will get started with my look. So I do have a little bit of mascara on just so I didn't look weird with a full face of makeup and nothing on my eyes. And like I said, I did set my lids with that lid setting shade already, but it's always creasing. So I'm going to go in with the purple matte first. I think that's the most obvious thing. Oh, where's my purple brush? I have a designated brush for this color, and it is the Alter Ego 1. It's kind of like a flat, fluffy brush. There's like barely any pickup with this shade, and it's super densely packed, so it's going to take forever to hit pan. I'm just going to run this in my crease and also slightly above it. Trying to figure out if I want to use the deep purple as a liner or as like a structured, like pointy, kind of a cut crease in the outer corner, but like a pointy edge wing thing. I'm terrible at explaining. I'm just going to take what's left on my brush and pull this in the lower lash. Okay. I think I will start. No. What should I do? I'm feeling a wing. I think I'm just going to do the wing. So I'm going to put this palette down for a second. I don't really have an eyeshadow for like the outer corner other than that. So it's going to be very ethereal. I'm going to put this shade on the outer corner and then blend like gradient this to the inner half. So I'm going to take my Kaleidos, go into Light Year, and find a brush. I'm going to take this Sigma Concealer F70, smallest concealer brush ever. You can see that I use it for shimmers. This is gonna look weird. Oh, so pretty. It's going to be very ethereal because it doesn't have anything in the outer corner like to deepen it or to add like dimension. It looks a lot lighter on my eyes than in the swatch, which is problematic for this specific eye look. So I'm going to go in with Bunny. I'm just going to take, or Miss Bunny, I'm going to take the same brush, why not? And I'm going to show you guys because I really want to catch a live pan. Like I said earlier, I've been filming every time I use this shade, so I got to film this use. Can I do this? Hello? No. I was very excited for a second. Okay. Gonna put this in the inner half. Gonna blend these together. And I don't really care if the shimmer goes into my crease because this is such like an ethereal, blown out look. You can't even tell between these two on my eye. Do you see? It looks flat. Like that is pan. What is that? I'm gonna take a little. It's hard to dig when I can't see what I'm doing. I think I covered it back up. I think that's what I did. I should have left it alone. It's gonna be an easy one for our next update, hopefully. And then my inner corner is gonna be the silver here from the ColourPop palette, and I do have a designated inner corner brush. It is my mini like Eco Tools. It's like a travel. It's just like a little flat brush. It's a really great inner corner for me. Okay, and all that is left is my wing. Do I have? Yes, I have my favorite wing brush here. This is teeny tiny brush from Sigma Winged Liner E06. And I'm going to go into oil from my Metamorphic palette here. And it's going to be a really pretty wing right here. Very pretty. I'm worried because this shade is so chunky that I might get some fallout though. So if I ever want to use this as a liner throughout this month, I'll probably mix it with Darlines, or like that's a mixing medium. If you guys have anything like that, you can create liner from Eyeshadows. This is not working out. Did you see that? I'm not very chatty today. I don't know. I don't really know what to talk about. That's pretty. I'm hot. I think that's why I think it's gonna be like high 80s or 90 today, and I'm filming this around probably 2:30. It's probably 3 o'clock by now. I take my lunch late because my son goes down for his nap at 2, so I just wait and film when he goes down for his nap. I actually didn't get much fallout because I did my trick where I stamp it on my hand first to kind of catch the fallout. I'm very glowy today as well. Look at these cheeks. I've kind of been going ham. Okay, I said I'm not chatty, but here I am. I've kind of been going ham on my bronzer and my highlighter, and I think it's just because it's like summer and I can. I didn't do that last summer. I don't remember doing that last summer. But that's what I've been doing lately. I currently have the Tower 28 Mini open. What is this called? Their Make Waves mascara. It's my only open mascara. I only have one open at a time. And I used up all of my Essence mascaras. I had a few because that was the only mascara that I had, but I just kind of wanted to branch out and see if anything like was more worth the hype. The Essence is such an affordable mascara that it's gonna be hard for me to like not get it, but I did get, I think this mascara was a free gift with purchase when I did like a skincare order for my husband. No, it was when I got my birthday gift in March from Sephora. I also had gotten a little birthday gift for myself. I've talked about before, I got the blush, the Natasha Denona Glow blush, like I Need a Nude, no, My Dream blush. So that was my birthday gift to myself, and then I got this, I bought this mini because I was running out of mascara, and then I also got the Cali Ray mini mascara for free. That's what was free. So I have not opened the Cali Ray one yet, and I won't until this one is done, but I just opened this for June, so we'll see if it lasts the 3 months, because I always call a mascara empty by 3 months. So that actually looks good. I have not been liking this mascara, but maybe I just need to do 2 coats of it because that looks pretty good. So this is the final look. I love it. Let me zoom you out. Wow, I absolutely love this look. I really enjoy lighter, like more everyday, but I feel like it's a little more elevated because of all of the shimmers, and of course the cool tones are my jam. So let me know how you would have used this color story. I feel like it was kind of difficult, but I did okay. I could have used the deeper shimmer in my outer corner as like a deepening out shade or like to make more dimension, but I really like this subtle wing. So I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, give this video a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, I hope you do so before you leave. So I see you in my next one. Bye.